Hello, welcome back again. Yes, guess what? I've been chasing a fly around my office, which is why I'm late, and I've been having some problems. Hopefully I can talk well enough. Anyway, I'm going to put up a poll. Feel free to take part in that poll. For those of you who are here, Derp and If Hubber, thank you for being here. I'm going to be doing my normal presentation. There are some slight differences. So I have added a little bit more in this time. So there is a little bit of adjustment. And then we're going to do some creation. We're going to look at magic items and maybe the negative effects of magic items. Maybe. I think we will. But we'll see. Anyway, let's get straight into this. Grab some food, some drink. Make sure you're comfortable. Let's rock on into this as quickly as we possibly can and get as much done as we possibly can in the short space of time that we have available to us, which is however long it takes for my voice to completely fall apart. Anyway, hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Weller, and today I want to talk about role-playing games. That's right, we're going to talk about role-playing games. This is Game Master Preparation, Lesson 5, Creating Magic Items. For those of you who are unaware, I do this every 2 months. We cover magic items in some way, doing a different aspect of magic items. So today's overview is how to create magic items, creating balanced magic items, magic item inspiration, the process of making your magic item, and some miscellaneous recommendations, as always. My objectives: how to explain the process of creating a magic item. So I'll explain it, I will demonstrate to a certain degree, and I want you to participate because I think that's important. Participation is always a good way to actually practice those skills. How to create magic items? Well, there's a couple of different ways. Often the creation of a homebrew magic item, a custom magic item, will result in a string of problems for a game master. And I'm not going to go over all those different problems, but usually they come down to the magic item overshadows everything else in the game, making the game master or the dungeon master's job that much harder in some way. Players will generally want to have more powerful magic items, more options for their magic items that they find in the game, or if you're allowing them to purchase in the game. And this will affect the game master's preparation process, usually making the preparation process longer, possibly longer than you have, and also affects the development of a challenge. So making something challenging and interesting that isn't just easy to complete or to succeed at becomes more difficult as the power of a magic item increases or you add more magic items to your campaign. So magic items can drive the role-playing campaign for a game master. So they can actually be a key feature, and they probably should be. You can make them a major feature, a MacGuffin, because the whole adventure, the whole goal of the adventure revolves around this. Lord of the Rings is a good example. I would suggest you start small, incorporate homebrew magic items very slowly, and this will help reduce the number of issues that will occur. It will not eliminate your problems, it will simply reduce them. You will not avoid completely any problems with a magic item that can be used by a player. There's always that possibility that something is going to crop up. So that is your basics around that. And I guess the next question that almost everybody has, and that is, how do you create a balanced magic item? And this is where the problem lies. It's actually not practical to create magic items that are balanced for any kind of role-playing game. It just doesn't happen. The very nature of a magic item is that they will unbalance the game in some way. They are designed to do that. In the game of Dungeons & Dragons 5e in particular, character mathematics, so the player character's mathematics and their abilities don't actually require them to have magic items in the game to be successful. They can succeed without them. It is deliberately built into the design. Whereas something like Dungeons & Dragons 3.5, 4e, Pathfinder 1st edition do require that characters have magic items to keep up with the monsters' mathematics in those games. Now, if we were looking at basic BECMI Dungeons & Dragons, your ability to be able to progress is based on your equipment. Your character, in many respects, in basic D&D, is your equipment. So you will probably need magic items along the way to be able to keep things rolling along. Otherwise, you're going to wind up dead very quick. The power of a magic item from greatest to lowest looks like this. So starting with the most powerful options that a magic item can have. Anything that gives you mobility, teleportation, flying, things like that. Then after that, it's granting anything that's extra magical power. When you grant extra magical power, that's also quite powerful, but that falls under mobility. Then we have specific magical effects like being able to have a wand that casts fireball or magic missile or something like that. And then we have the combat, the martial combat stuff. That's magic weapons and armor. It's actually not at the top. It's actually quite a lot further down the list in terms of the most powerful things you could have. And at the very bottom are the miscellaneous utility functions. These tend to be quite small in nature, but they are just miscellaneous utility functions that help you solve problems quite often, or create problems, depending on what you're dealing with. Now, magic weapons, armor, and combat-focused items will generally generate the most issues for you, because they are often the first things that people will make, whether that's homebrew or custom. But they're not the most powerful. They're just the ones that you tend to wind up coming across because you build them first. So this is not a wise starting point for a game master or a dungeon master. It's better not to start with those. Your players want you to start there, but that's probably where you don't want to start. Now, utility magic items are the best to create for a player character as they have the least effect on the game, ultimately, and they usually don't affect combat encounter design. So you don't have to worry about having to scale things up, scale things down. And in most cases, when it comes to magic items, that means scaling up. Common magic items tend to be the least powerful in terms of their power level, and this is a good starting point. If you want to start off anything in your game, this is where you want to start. Common stuff that's very, very, very easy to get. The power of a magic item can be adjusted over time if you start at a low scarcity or rarity or a low power, and this will assist in avoiding seriously overpowered magic items. So start small, start with low powered magic items and work your way up to the point that you need to be. It is also much easier for players to accept the idea of an increasing power to a magic item rather than finding that you need to decrease the power of a magic item because you've talked it up too much. Players will accept things going up. They have much more difficulty with them being decreased in power. So if you want to alleviate some of the hassles and dynamics between you and your player as they're in a power struggle, then start small and increase their power. Okay, so that is the process of dealing with balancing your magic item. Doesn't sound easy, does it? Practice. It's always practice. Inspiration for magic items. So where do we get our inspiration for the things that we're going to make? Well, Harry Potter movies and books are great examples of very simple magic items that do all sorts of fun effects. They don't have to be the only sorts of things you make, but it's a great place to start. Novels on fantasy, science fiction that include magic items, another great place. Books, movies, always great places to pull stuff from. Historical magic items. There are mythology and legend around magical weapons and items that have been used throughout our history that you can pull into your game. You just need to do a little bit of research, read a few books, you'll find what you're looking for. Computer and video games have magic items that you can also use and port over to your tabletop role-playing game. Chances are those computer and video games have actually taken those ideas from somewhere else, but that doesn't matter. Common and simple magic items are probably some of the best things you can get in any role-playing game. So when you're dealing with something that's a simple magical effect, common magical effect, there are books out there that do put out that sort of stuff. And I would say Xanathar's Guide to Everything for 5e is a very good example of this. It is not the only type of book out there that is available that has lots of very small, simple magical effects on an item, but it's certainly one. Antiques, heirlooms, trinkets that aren't magical can be given a magical property. It's a starting point. Now, I really do find the trinkets that you can find online, but also the Player's Handbook for 5e, there's 100 different trinkets there, which means that potentially you have 100 different very simple magic items that you just need to adjust. And then older versions of Dungeons & Dragons, their magic items, or even from another role-playing game, can also be hugely useful to you. That's where you get your inspiration. Lots of different places. Okay, the process of making that magic item. How do we do this? It is not as complicated as it sounds. It's just getting it right. Can seem a bit difficult at times. So give your magic item an interesting and obvious name to tell part of the story of that object or magic item. It also indicates the function of the magic item. So naming your magic item is important. Come up with a name that is suitable for it. Create a magical effect that has a benefit or a detrimental effect. In fact, you can make a magic item that has both beneficial effects and detrimental effects. You might even apply a curse to it. Now, if you look through various books such as Dungeon Master Guides, Game Mastery Guides, things like that, you'll find that they tend to have tables that give you sort of a list of different things that you can use. It may not be extensive, but it's certainly a starting point. What is the history of your magic item? What was the magic item intended to be used for? Was it designed for a very specific purpose? So that's another aspect of your magic item. You do not need to do the history of a magic item, but if your magic item is tied to your campaign or the adventure that you're running, then it will need to have a story to it, a history. Determine the power level of the magic item. That is it low level, medium level, or high level, or is it an artifact, a relic of some kind, with obscene power, things that will end worlds? Select the appropriate scarcity or rarity for your magic item. This also helps define the power level of your magic item. Is it something that you can get easily? It's just a magic potion that heals you that you can buy in a shop. Or is it a sword that when you swing it, it glows purple and takes off the head of an animal, killing it instantly? This is something that would be quite rare. The bond that you require for your magic item is going to be based on a couple of different things. So the bond required or the attunement for a magic item helps stop a player character stacking too many different powerful magic items together. If you don't want them to have a lot of power on their character at the same time, then use something like the 5e attunement or a bond system. And there's a limit. Is it going to be just 2 items, 3 items, 4 items? You figure that out. So magic bonds and attunement is the best tool to use when you assign to a magic item that has a permanent effect. When you have a magic item that constantly can produce the same magical effect, it never runs out, it's always there, there's no recharge feature or anything like that, they can just use it infinitely, then you probably want to have some sort of magical bond or attunement required, which also restricts how many things that they can actually carry. Okay. Next, does the magic item have charges? In other words, are there only so many charges or so many times it can be used before it stops being able to be used and they have to wait? So they have to go and recharge it in a pool of magic, or they have to recharge it or wait for it to recharge at dawn, or does it recharge a week later? Whatever that recharge process is going to look like. What about permanent magic effects? Things that always are always there, they never stop. The sword always glows blue when there are orcs nearby. It never stops glowing blue when there are orcs nearby. Or is it a single-use magic item, such as a potion of healing that you just drink? It restores some of your health, and that's it. You can't use it again. You have to throw it away. So those are the things that I would suggest are the things you want to look at in terms of making your magic item. It sounds fairly simple and basic. Putting it into practice is a different story. Practice changes everything. So miscellaneous recommendations. So the first thing I want to say is you need to expect right now, just accept that you're going to make mistakes with your magic item creation. You're going to make something that you regret making. It happens to everybody. Why should you be special? Okay? Are you better than everybody else? No, you're probably not. So the reality is it's going to happen. Accept it's going to happen. Don't beat yourself up about it when you do make a mistake with a magic item, making it too powerful, or just giving it an effect that you just did not foresee the consequences of. Because this sort of thing happens. It's fine to take existing magic items and just reskin that item in some way. That's still making a custom magic item. You're utilizing your time in the most efficient way. If you don't have time to build it from scratch, okay, or modify it, then do it that way. There is no mathematical formula. I would like to say it again. There is no mathematical formula, no matter what role-playing game you're playing, okay, regarding magic item creation for you as a game master when you're making your own stuff, that will allow you to avoid players finding a way to exploit that item, that magic item. There is nothing that you can do sitting down, even when you make it the least powerful thing and it's hard to find. There's always going to be a chance the players will figure out how to use something in a way that you did not expect. And that's just the reality. So forget about the maths and think more about the narrative and think more about starting small. Starting small is always good. You can build from there. So I'm hoping this was useful to you, and if it was, fantastic. I want to thank all of my patrons who support me on Patreon so that I can keep running this program every single week. We will roll back around in about 2 months and do magic items again. And I want to thank you for listening and watching. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Right, okay. I kind of survived that. Let's now I would normally share my screen with you. I will share my screen with you, but not quite in the same way. I've been trying to run my live streams off my my desktop computer, and then then I've got my screen. I'm tracking things on my screen. I'm typing stuff in, blah blah blah. Then I have my cell phone going to track the chat in the live stream, and this is not working because YouTube has become so aggressive with their advertising, and there's nothing I can do about it. Nothing. So I am probably going to just jump to the screen, show you kind of what we've got, and then we'll get you to start building some stuff. So I'm going to put this prompt in right now so we get started. We've done this before. What is a negative effect that a magic item might have? So we started doing a table of 100 different negative magic item effects, or detrimental effects, you might say. So I'm going to share that list with you right now. We were up to around about 70, and so we'll continue to build on that for as long as my mind and my throat and my everything else is working, pretty much. So I'm going to put this in so that you can get started with your ideas. I will be building some stuff myself. Let's have a look at the poll right now. We've got 8 votes. Do you think magic items should only have benefits? Yes, 12%. Interesting. No, 75%. Just watching, 12%. Okay. All right. But to be fair, honestly, I couldn't give I don't care what you think. I'm not going to tell you how it should work. As I've said before on my channel, I'm more about options and giving you lists. I'm more about options and giving you lists. Okay, that's what I care about. So your belief about how a magic item should be built is unimportant to me, and frankly, unimportant to anybody else. Let's just say. So with whatever my opinion is, who cares? Really. We're just here to build tools. This is what the Game Master preparation is all about in the first place. So I'm not going to get into a discussion with people about whether they should or shouldn't. That is not what we're here for. Okay. All right. I can't see all the stuff in the top of the chat, so I apologize if I can't read everything that you put in here. Been best in the shop, ran out of space. Like a rug that flies that's afraid of heights. So it's a magical effect. We're not making magic items today, people. Just the magical effect. A tag name is nice. A tag name with something attached to it would be fine. Okay, but that's what we're aiming for. The more positive power, the more I think the magic item needs a negative effect. Okay. Would not assign ratio equivalents. Hello, Cyril. How you doing? Derp and Fred Huber are both patrons. Thank you for being here. A ring of spell storing is actually one of the most broken items developed. Let's hand the barbarian a ring with fireball and web. Okay, yeah. The party wizard can refill it. Absolutely. I do appreciate certain items having increased powers that could be unlocked over time. The magic item that grows over time as you continue to hang on to it is a really good way of dealing with magic items. It really is. Intellect, Mace of Amnesia, forgets who it is every dawn. Another one of those. All right, okay, all right. Let's get past this. We've got Dungeons and Chronics here, and yeah. All right. Okay, so you're going to put in some ideas. Hello, Pale Rider. How are you going? I'm going to share with you what I have currently on this this table, and then we are going to just get started because that's why we're here in the first place. Let's do that. I've got that open. I need to make sure I'm in the right place, so that needs to be closed, and I need to. Oh, for those of you, who are wondering, hey Fred, what about magic item properties that are beneficial? Have we done that yet? Well, actually, yeah, we have. So, what I'll do is I'll show you what we have. It's already on Patreon. So for those of you who are like, we should make a list of beneficial stuff. Well, it's been done. There's already 100 with tag names attached to it. It's already been done. So 100 magic item properties. These are all things that, to a large extent, are beneficial. They're usually not going to be non-beneficial to you, okay? Or they're not malign. They're not really to your disadvantage. They're more to your advantage. And we spent a lot of time building this. It took a little while to get it all done, but we got there eventually, and we came up with 100 different ideas. So this takes the idea of a table where you have special abilities, and you now potentially have 100 or more magic items with the ability to combine these ideas to make even more magic items. That's the whole point of it. Okay, I'm going to scroll down here for now, because that's not what you're looking for. This is 100 negative magic item traits. These are actually negative. They're things that you don't really want to have happen. We have absorb life, age shift, alarm, athlete's foot, attract attacks, bats. There's quite a few here. Some of these are really strange. So some of these are fairly standard. We definitely have sentient in here. You'll notice that I have tried to put stuff into alphabetical order, but it did not work. After a while, things just got crazy, and we are in the sort of the 70 range, roughly. So that's where we're at. So let's start taking your ideas, putting them in, and I'll start rearranging and adjusting things and see where we go. I'll be probably jumping back and forth from the camera shot with my head to that sheet, depending on how fast your ideas are flying. Okay. All right. Let's get started, shall we? And we have Derp. Derp is also a patron. Thank you for being here. Slowly makes the owner look like a ragged clown. Crusty. Dear. All right, we'll take it. Things that transform you are always entertaining. So we're going to question mark dash this. Item slowly makes the owner look like a raggedy clown. And Krusty, we could call it Krusty. I think we just call it clown. We'll just call this clown. I'm going to put clown somewhere later. Let's just keep going, because I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with you guys or not. I have no idea. So a negative effect drains constitution at the same point, but it can be regained with a rest. So one of the things I'm going to make it really clear, if you put mechanics or terminology that is related to Dungeons and Dragons or to any specific role-playing game, I'm going to remove it. So I'm not going to use the word constitution because that's related to D&D, and not all games use constitution. So we'll use a different term that kind of does the same thing. Okay, so I have no problem with that, but let's rewrite it so it's going to be less tied to a particular game system. I want these tools to be used by whoever wants to be able to use them, and taking out terminology that is related to a particular game system is going to be part of that process. Whether I do it now or later, I might as well do it now because I'm going to do it later anyway. Okay, so the item drains health. Drains health, let's do that. At some point, but it can be regained with rest. Okay. I think that's the easiest way. I don't know what we would call that as a tag name, but we'll put that in. Magic item makes the wielder crave bugs to eat. That's very much like the, was it Fright Night 2? I think Fright Night 2 had a character that had to eat bugs, and they were just full of bugs. I think they were supposed to be some sort of ghoul or something like that, and that's all they fed on was just bugs. I think that's where that idea comes from. It's a good idea though. I like it. The magic item makes the wielder crave bugs to eat. Now, there's a better way of saying that. The magic item makes the wielder crave bugs bugs as a food source. Okay, so as let's go as the only food source. I think that's better. I think I got it. The magic item makes the wielder crave bugs as their only food source. Wonderful. Terribly sick, and we will take that. Let's see else. What else we got here? Final countdown. Hello, Fred. What have you got cooked up for us today? X uses of its major power, and Orcus claims the possessor. Well, now Orcus is not actually. Orcus is not in fact Wizards of the Coast property, is it? I forgot about that. Orcus is something else. So I can. Final countdown. What's the best way to say this? Awkward. Let's have a look. Okay, so let's yeah, I'm just having a bit of a think about how I want to restructure this. Orcus was a god of the underworld, punisher of broken oaths in Etruscan Roman mythology. Oh, okay. So it is, yeah. It's Roman mythology. It goes back to Rome. It's not actually the property of Wizards of the Coast at all. So that means it's freely available if we really want to use it. So we don't need to take Orcus away. Okay. Final countdown. So X uses of its major power. Using the power of the magic item so hang on. Repeated repeated uses of the power, repeatedly using, I'm getting there, repeatedly using the power of the magic item results in Orcus claiming the possessor. I think that's it. We won't put a time. Yeah, so that's good. That's cool. We've got that one. Oh, here we go. So the contract. Every time a battle is won with the magical weapon, there is a chance minions of the item's creator comes and collects the user's soul. The contract. Wow. Okay. All right. Yep. We really are. We're firing all cylinders today. No mercy. No mercy for the weak. Heck, no mercy for the strong. Contract. Not the contract, but just contract. Let's put down contract. Every time a battle is won with a magical item, let's just put item rather than weapon, there is a chance minions of the item's creator come minions of the items there's a chance the items creators minions collect. It feels very similar to the other one, the Orcus one. It does feel very similar. Collects minions. Okay. Every time a battle is won with a magical item, there's a chance the creator's minions will collect the user's soul. Yeah, it's very similar to that other one there. So, okay, let's keep going. All right, so it looks like I will be having to be fast about this. Krusty, yeah, I'm aware that Krusty is from The Simpsons. I got it, Fred. I understood. +1 attack damage for 3 rounds. On the 4th round, the magically dealt damage prior vanishes. There's no longer magic for the next few rounds. I'm going to leave that one alone. Okay, drains your stamina. We've already got that, yeah. So drains your stamina. Yes, you could use the word stamina. I just put down health, that's fine. Orcus, a major demon of death. Yes, fragile. The magic item breaks easily. Yes, absolutely, Derp. We may already have that. I would imagine that is something somebody has already cooked up early on. Something like fragile or breakable or something like that. But if it's not there, it's going in there. Let's put this in. And fragile. So years ago, I made a magic item, a magic sword out of glass, which used to break when you got a critical fumble. Well, a lot of fun for me, not a lot of fun for everybody else. Ugly. The magic item looks unappealing. Oh, okay. Yeah. Not a huge effect, but that's not the point, is it? That's not what we're trying to do. We just want negative things. Ugly. The magic item looks unappealing. Simple, sweet, to the point. Nice. Arch Little. Hello, how are you, Arch Little? So, Arch Little, I'm just going to cut and paste this in again. And then I'm going to go through yours. Just to keep refreshing. So people, tag name and description. Okay, all right. For the item requires maintenance. Pay a sum equal to a percentage of the item's cost plus an amount of downtime to keep it working if it fails. Let's just take the first sentence. I like the idea of that, and I think rather than the other things, let's just keep this fairly general in nature. We'll let the game master do some of the work. So let's go here. The magic item requires maintenance. Maintenance that costs money and time. Sweet. Whoops. Whoopsie daisies. Whoopsies daisies. I feel like is it Hugh Grant? He's the whoopsie daisy man, isn't he? Keep going. Let's keep it going. Agreed. Owner must immediately loot the body of anything it kills. Hang on. Isn't this something that so many people already do? Soul eater. We've got another soul eater. I don't know that we can keep doing soul eating. Everything's going to have soul eater. This is a solitary eater. Greed. The owner, owner must immediately loot the body of anything it kills. Here we go. That's fine. Let's keep going. See if I can keep up with you guys, you're fine? Good. Glad to hear it, Arch Little. I'm not so fine, but I'm doing my thing. Full victory slowly absorbs the user's soul and can control the user once the soul is absorbed. There's so many soul eating things going on here. Yeah, I'll put one of them in. I'm probably not going to put them all in. And in fact, I'm probably going to sacrifice something. Unless something is distinctive enough, it just doesn't feel like there's much point putting in more soul-consuming, destroying stuff. Soul Eater, which feels very similar to the other one. Item, their soul is consumed by the item. That's very much, isn't that this? No, that's if you get killed by the sword. There's a character right in the Suicide Squad that has a sword. When you get killed by it, your soul gets sucked into the sword. It's very Shang Tsung. Scry Eye. Scry Eye. When the item is used by anyone, the item's creator can see and sense their location. So this is the sort of thing. So I've always been of the view that who makes magic items? It's liches. They only want to have enough time. So the magic items you're picking up are probably not going to be to your benefit. Scary. I think we're going to call it Spying Eye. Spying Eye. Let's do that. When the magic item and the item is used by anyone, the creator can see and sense their location. Yeah, and then they're going to show up. And they want their item back. Health is basically a dog. That's true. I can't dispute that. Bloodlust. Oh gosh, there have been so many magic items with bloodlust. Must be used to kill a humanoid daily or it ages the owner. Of course it does, because aging in games, modern games, is not really a part of the game anymore. It was in older versions of the game, but it's not really now. The magic item must be used to kill a humanoid daily, or it ages the owner. Ages the, not the owner, the wielder. Let's do that. I like that. That's fine. I'm good with that. It's got to make something bleed. Hello, Noroak. Noroak is a patron. Thank you for being here. It's nice to have you back. I know you've been very, very busy with work. I know how that feels. I've done, in the last fortnight, I've done 8 shift coordinator duties, and holy Toledo. Talk about put me out of my misery. It does get ignored. But I mean, there aren't really any huge consequences to aging nowadays. It's the biggest problem, isn't it? Is it wild shape? Make any lengthened throat more powerful, but can cause random transformations. I see. I think it's got. I like your idea, Pale Rider, but let's go even nuttier. I let's call this wild shape. Wild shape. The magic item. Item causes causes the wielder to randomly transform. Oh, you can do anything to them now. Transform. You could turn them into a pot plant. You could turn them into a chili. You could turn them into a goat. Let's go nuts. I like that idea a lot. And that's it. The magic user causes the wielder to randomly transform. And no more needs to be said. Anyway, bad ley line connection. The magic item of the magic of the item is very spotty and occasionally doesn't work. Oh, I guess yeah, absolutely. Let's do that. I don't know if I'm going to call it bad ley line connection because it's a bit long-winded, but we will use part of that. Let's go just bad connection. Nice. The magic item, the magic item. The magic of the item is very spotty and occasionally doesn't work. Sweet. Nice. Let's keep going. Oh, I'm struggling again. Here we go. Dark gift. Slowly turns the user into an undead. Fair enough. We've got to have something like that. Dark gift. And there's bound to be something that slowly turns the... Slowly turns the user into an undead creature. Let us make sure we get that right. Let's get that right. Yes. Okay. All right. I'm not putting anything into alphabetical order. I am just getting things down. Goofball. While you have the item equipped, you look like a goober. Of course. Let's sure we can do that. Yeah, let's get real. This is a 100 list of things the game master can do to humiliate the player's character. While you have the magic item equipped, you look like a goober. Okay, all right, fine, it's there. Unreliable, randomly mention doors the wielder 50 feet to an open space if they attack. If their attack misses. Jeez. Yeah, it is potentially, but it could be very, very bad. I think 500 feet, though, it's probably going to be bad most of the time. Um, Unreliable. Okay, so the problem is if you miss is the wrong way to go. I feel if you're gonna go this way, you've got to go the way that it's supposed to go, which is if you hit, you, you are randomly transported 500 feet from where you were into an open space. Unreliable. I don't know if I'm going to say unreliable is um, transport. What about transport, teleport? Let's go teleport, mishap. Let's just do that. So the magic item, randomly teleports teleports the wielder 500 feet to an open space if their attack hits. Now that's a negative problem. I hit, and then I teleport somewhere and I'm 500 feet from where I was. Yes, that's a real problem. So next, enemy attraction attracts monsters to it. I am pretty sure that we already have something like that, but let me just check because I'm sure that this was an idea somebody had put forward ages ago. Attraction attack attracts all attacks inward the holder of the. Okay. Oh, I see. So it attracts all attacks toward. That's what it's supposed to say. Toward the holder of the item. What you want is just attraction, isn't it? I'm almost tempted to call it just monster magnet. But attraction is another way of going it. Well, let's just go with monster magnet. I'll just call it that. Magnet. And take your idea over, put that in. Geesh. Where do we go? Let's go here. Magic item attracts monsters to the wielder's to the magic item attracts monsters toward it. You're not going to run out of monsters anytime soon. No. Okay, aggression gets more out of control the more the item is used. Okay, yes. So we'll take that one, Pale Rider, and plug that in. Aggression. The magic item uses the wielder's aggression and uses the wielder's aggression so that they lose control. I think that's what we're trying to do here. Okay, we've got that. We're still going. Wow. Yeah, well, it very much sounds like a monster magnet when you're describing it. 5e ghost. Horrifying for such. Each undead creature within 60 feet of the ghost that can see it must succeed on a DC 13 saving throw. Yeah, I know that rule, but not. I don't really want to use that. I don't really want to use that. Addiction. Being separated from the item causes pain. Jeez. Let's go with just horrifying, though. Let's do that. Horrifying. The magic item makes the wielder look horrifying. And horrifying. I think that's got it. Sweet. Down. Matched. Next one. Addiction. We'll get the addiction one in. Four, blimey. There's a few here. Let's see. Addiction. I don't know if we've already got addiction. We might have addiction. The wielder being separated from the magic item causes magic item causes pain. Pain, great pain. Do we have it already? We don't. We keep it. We're going to keep it. And I need to keep plugging your ideas in. Fun thing with random teleport, it might put you in the worst place or in a safe spot. It might well do that, yes. That is funny. I like that. Bad breath. My magic item gives me bad breath. Just use more toothpaste. The item wielder gets terribly bad breath. That is funny. Backfire. If the item is meant for attacking an enemy, sometimes it attacks you instead. We've got sentient. We've kind of got something there going. Backfire. I think backfire needs to be... I think backfire... If we're going to put backfire in, let's put backfire and make it decent. Let's make it really mess with things. Backfire. Combine it with something else. The magic item. Items. Effect. Targets the wielder only. That would be terrible. Let's put it in though. I think that's how we'll read it. Okay, the magic item's effect targets the wielder only. Now we're talking. Escalation. The magic item becomes stronger and more destructive with each use. That's a positive thing. I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing. Poverty. Cause the owner's money to disappear. 10% of the day. No, that's all the time. All the money goes. Choosh. They don't even have to track 10% of their money. Poverty. Magic item causes the owner's money to disappear each day. Each day. That's hilarious. We'll let the game master decide how bad that's going to be. We don't need to be a part of that. Unhealable. The user cannot be healed by normal magical means. Ooh, that'll hurt. Are we going to make somebody's feet big? Yeah. Top of the hour. We're going to keep going, though. Unhealable. The... cannot be healed by normal or magical means. Oh, that's the bad one. Got it, though. Cicadas. Makes the owner slowly go blind. Oh, cataracts. Cataracts. Yeah, why not? Let's make them blind. Blind fighting now. It's going to be your thing. Blind Fury. Does anybody remember Blind Fury with... Was it Rutger Hauer? You're playing Blind Fury with the blind guy with the sword. He was cutting people up left, right, and centre. There's also the Blind Samurai, which, frankly, I think the Blind Samurai should be turned into a Star Wars story because it's such a good story. Cataracts, the item gives the wielder... Oh, no, it makes the magic item makes the wielder, makes... The wielder slowly go blind. Got time, but it's not going to be fun. No fun for you today. Language changes the user's spoken. Oh, that is funny. Oh dear. Yeah, let's put that in. Unknown language. Let's do that. The magic item randomly changes the user's spoken language. I'm fine with that one too. Let's put that in. Talons. Makes the fingernails and toenails grow 4 inches straight before... Oh, jeez. That's a weird one. 4 inches is impractical because, like, you could, it's going to cause a lot of problems really fast. Let's just have them grow 4 inches each day rather than it being hard to trim. They're going to be hard to trim anyway. We don't have to do that. Let's just do this. That is novel. Okay. I like how this turned from negative effects to curses. Like, so for those of you, so Fred, so Noroak. For those of you who wanted to do curses, which really does feel like we've headed down the track, we can do a table of 100 curses. We don't have to do that today. Okay? So negative effects rather than just full-blown curses would be great. Because I feel like 100 curses is probably a good idea. I know that's an itch that needs to be scratched. And when you have an itch that you need to scratch, if you don't scratch it, it drives you nuts, right? So fine. So we can come back and do 100 curses at some point. It doesn't have to be today. He says, and knowing fully well that's not going to change anything. Anyway, Bigfoot makes owner grow 1 foot taller and extremely hairy. We like transforming people into stuff. It's definitely the curse. We've got the curses are on now. The curse is on. Magic item. makes the wielder grow 1 foot taller and extremely hairy. Let's try this. I don't know why it's doing that, but anyway, okay, keep going. Where am I at? 6 minutes in over. Okay, let's keep going. For escalation, it eventually gets so strong it destroys everything in the area upon use. Yeah. Yes, corkscrews. Yes, you could actually take out the cork. Toothless makes the owner's teeth fall out. Wrestling's gaze. The user's vision slowly shows them only the effects of the decay of time on what they're looking at. Oh, okay. We can't use wrestling. The word wrestling isn't going to work. So I'm going to say it now. It's got to go. But decaying gaze, we can put decaying gaze though. Okay, the wielder of the magic item's vision shows them only the effects of the decay of time on what they're looking at. Fine, done. It is down. Toothless, scaly skin. You guys are having a lot of fun transforming our player characters into various horrible things, aren't you? Okay, all right. Toothless. Magic item. Makes the owner's teeth fall out. Makes the teeth fall out. Of course we want the teeth to fall out faster than normal. Right, here we go. Poison ivy. An itchy rash. Scaly skin. All right, scaly skin and itchy rash. Okay, all right. Oh dear. Scaly skin. Turns the wielder's skin. Scaly skin into scales. Let's just go there. Turns. Sweet, that's good. And next, what else do we have here? Oh my gosh. Geez. There's a few here. How are we doing for time? I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to show you what we've got. I'm wrapping it up because hay fever, bad. Shift coordinator again. Fred going insane. The magic item causes the wielder have an itchy rash. Okay. All right. Oh, geez. Here we go. All right. Okay. Hashtag. Stop. 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 That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. There's 100. Okay? There's more than 100. We don't need any more. We don't need... That's it. We don't have to do any more. Okay? Sanity is overrated. Well, yeah, but I need my sanity in a place where it is insane. Okay? I need to have my sanity. We're done. We're done. We're done for today. I need to rest before I have to go and deal with the chaos of work. Ignored. I'm just copying and pasting and stuff right now, just because I can. I haven't done anything with it. I haven't even rewritten it. Okay, I'm going to show you. I'll show you what we've got in a second. Just put the brakes on, people. Put the brakes on. Which means I will come back to this at some point because I will have to, but I just don't have the energy to do it today. I just don't have the energy. Dog turns everything into dogs. Oh, good Lord. Plague bearer. Okay, all right. I got the last one down. Okay, let me shift over so you can see what we have. Okay, I will go backwards rather than forwards. So as you can see, we have a few that I have not finished. Your ideas, I haven't sort of fully done whatever I need to do with them. It's 108. Okay, so there's more than a 100 now. There's more than 100. So we've got a bunch of different things going on here. And so scrolling up, you can see that we have quite a few. This is all out of alpha. It's not in alphabetical order. There's a few things that need tags to them. There's a few things that are undone. Okay, but the bulk of it is mostly sorted. So the next time we come back to this, we probably get it finished, and then you can do curses. Okay, then you can do curses. Clearly, you want to be able to make cursed magic items. I can see it. I understand it. I make a lot of them myself. But it doesn't need to be in this table. So this is what we have. Okay. All right. Cool. Fred says stop and hopes that they stop. Anyway, let's end this poll. End the poll. Is the poll going to end? I don't know. Yeah, there we go. Oh, good news. So we did get 100. It's not finished. We'll come back to it. We'll deal with it some other time, probably in 2 months' time, or maybe 2.5 months' time if I'm going on holiday, and it'll get finished up. So it's moving towards that point of completion. For those of you who are like, Fred, come on, when's the next 100 table going to be completed? Frankly, I think the next one's going to be finished tomorrow because we're dealing with monsters, and we were building a table for 100 monster something. I can't remember what it was, but we'll be dealing with that tomorrow. So chances are that one will get finished. Today, Fred needs to sleep because Fred's medication is not working. Fred's medication is not good enough. It's not strong enough. I take another dose, I can't drive. So I've got to rest up before I deal with the chaos of work and organising everybody. That's going to be fun. Anyway, I'm going to say a huge thank you to everybody today. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. I want to thank all of my patrons who support me on Patreon so I can keep running this program, the Game Master Preparation, or Dungeon Master Preparation if you want to call it Dungeon Master. Okay, this is what we do: is we make tools and we get there, we do. I want to thank everybody who's been watching and listening, taking part in the poll. Whatever your view of how magic items should be made, that's up for you to deal with, because that's how you run your table, not me, okay? It's none of my business, frankly, in the end. I would like to say a huge thank you to those of you in chat who have been providing lots of really good ideas, some very amusing and silly, and some very, very clever. In any case, at least it was entertaining. That's YouTube, right? It's supposed to be entertaining. So thank you to Noroak, Pale Rider, Fred Huber. Who else did I have here that was throwing out ideas and I may have missed? We had Derp. Derp was in here. I remember seeing Derp in here as well. Arch Little, who was hanging out with us as well. Is there anybody else? Cyril, who's provided a few ideas as well. And Dungeons and Chronics. It's always nice to know that I'm not alone and just talking to myself. That is always a good sign. So no matter where you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, the night, or the wee early morning, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. Make sure that you wear enough clothing that you have a place to stick your keys. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.